Today I fucked up by trying to be cute with no pants on. 25F. This actually happened about 6 months ago, but it's time the story is told. Just to preface, my husband, 24M, and I, 25F, are very comfortable with each other, especially when it comes to normal body functions such as pooping, burping, and farting. Anyway, one day about 6 months ago, I thought I was being really cute rocking the Winnie the Pooh shirt with no bottoms. It started with a casual conversation while my husband was sitting on the toilet. I was standing outside of the bathroom, while the door was open, and we're just chatting. I look at him straight in the eye, trying to be cute, and I went for a toot. Guys, this was not a fucking toot that came out of me. I looked my husband dead in the eye, thinking that I was cute and silly, then shit on the fucking floor. Yup, literally sharted. And because I was rocking the t-shirt with no pants look, it had nowhere to go but the floor. I was devastated. I thought I might be looking at divorce. I've never felt so humiliated. Husband here. At the moment of release I was looking her dead in the eye. I was expecting to hear a gnarly ass fart. All I heard was a wet plop/thud noise. It took my brain a second to process it, but as soon as I did I found myself looking at my wife in sheer/horror disbelief. The love of my life just shit on the floor like a filthy fucking animal. He turned bright red and slammed the door. I just sat on the toilet in disbelief. Too long didn't read. I tried to be cute and toot with no pants on, and I shit on the floor while looking my husband dead in the eye. Winnie the Pooh should have kept looking husband straight in the eye and just said, "Oh bother." It happens. Not to most people, but it does happen. On the night of me and my wife's marriage I was woken up to her crying in the other room. It's about 3 a.m. so I went to make sure she's okay. She was having severe cramps from her intestines. Knowing it was likely constipation I ran a very warm bath and had her sit down while I tried to console her and rubbed her neck and shoulders. She felt a toot coming, and indeed it was a toot, followed by turning the whole bath water brown. She just screamed at me to leave. Best part about it, she felt better. It's funny looking back now, but she would have literally killed me if I had laughed. I wouldn't have known what to do with myself. TBH, you seem to definitely be a keeper. To husband, when she slammed the door, was it to hide the shit from you, or were you left shut in the room staring at the pile of shit? Important difference. Lol. It was to hide the pile. She made me pass her TP from my throne. Edit, she wants me to clarify it was a puddle, not a pile. I'm trying to laugh quietly, but I'm just shaking the mattress instead. Well mom, this is funny cause it's not only random as hell, it's relatable. Today I fucked up by petting a Russian gangster's smooth door. So this happened 8 years ago when I was 12 yo. First Reddit post. That's why story took so long to tell. At the time I lived in Moscow, Russia with my family. I'm Swedish, but my father worked at the embassy in Moscow. I was always fucking/playing around as a young lad. While in Moscow we lived in a quite pompous neighborhood with mostly other diplomats as well as Russian businessmen who often are pretty shady, as you'll know. After school me and my best friend always used to hang out. I lived in an apartment in a big tower of a building. On every level there were 2 apartments, and with that 2 doors. I lived on something like the 4 to 5 floor, so I always took the elevator. Me and my friend one day ended up on the highest floor while being annoying and pressing all of the buttons in the elevator. That floor was being renovated. It was covered in plastic and overall looking kinda abandoned. The floor gave off a creepy feeling. As on all levels there were 2 doors. In Russia it is common that you have quite pompous doors with patterns and different materials, which people would flex not only with cars but also with doors. One of these 2 doors at the top of the building was hella pimped out. The door was grey with buttons and made out of a fluffy pillow-like soft material. How I know it was soft? Well, we felt on it. Me and my friend not only felt on it, because of its texture and the fact that we thought the apartment to be abandoned. Yep, we made it a tradition to every time we took the elevator to my flat first visit the door to pet it. This tradition continued for a couple of weeks, and one day we were hanging out at my place after petting the door when my father called on me. When I came to him he was standing at the door that was occupied by 2 big Russian men armed with handguns. They started talking in Russian, which already normally sounds sounds like an angry language. Looked hella scary with guns, and they were both looking at me dead in the eyes while basically screaming. I had no idea what was going on. I spoke very little Russian, until my father asked if I had been at the top floor doing suspicious stuff. That was when I realized my fuck up. The Russian bodyguards, my father told me, they said that they introduced themselves as Bee Gees, continued to lecture me for a while, and my father looked quite amused. Then suddenly one of them started smiling and said something like "good boy" in English before leaving. I stopped shitting my pants and asked my father what they said. He explained that they had seen me and my friend day after day walking up to the door and petting it in their surveillance system. I believe these bodyguards to work for some big-time Russian businessman, perhaps even a criminal. Do not see why they would be armed otherwise. I cannot with certainty say that they were gangsters, but that would be my guess. This incident was scary at the time, but is a very fond memory from Russia today. I never petted the door again. Actually, I have not petted a door since. Too long didn't read. 12 Yomi petted neighbor's door in Russia and got visit from armed gangster bodyguards. Written on iPhone. Russian bodyguards spend 2 weeks laughing at a kid on CCTV. Supervisor finally walks in. WTF am I paying you guys for? Okay, we're going. Probably what actually happened. I wouldn't know how to react if I saw a kid petting my door. Shoot first and ask questions later. Such an innocent thing to do. LOL. Who's a good door? You're a good door. Proceeds to pet door. That door probably hasn't been treated with such love since. How does your father look back on it? Did you ask him when you were older? Yes, he still thought it was funny. He didn't think they were too aggressive, just speaking Russian normally. My favorite part is Russians flexing on each other with doors. Today I fucked up by mishearing the surgeon ask about my ski hobby during a case. This was a few months ago, and I still lose it whenever tell the story. It was a simple case, nothing special, with one of the surgeons who likes to converse with the guys. As I'm not one of the guys, I simply sit back and chat while half listening out for anything they may need me to get. Which I don't mind at all because I'm insanely quiet by nature. Often with cases that last longer than an hour, we insert catheters to make sure the patient is producing urine still, and that they hadn't nicked the urinary system. Collection bag is hung at the foot of the table for easy access, to assess the output. So, I'm charting halfway into the case, and all of the sudden out of the corner of my eye I see the surgeon turn toward me and he says, "You're a skier." I was totally caught off guard cause he never converses with women, at least who aren't doctors. I momentarily stared at him, trying to figure out how he knew I was a skier and why he would ask me that. I then proceeded to talk about how yes, I love to ski and I've been here and there. Used to snowboard but switched back to skiing, and so on. And I pause and realize everyone in the room was just staring at me. The surgeon then, with his super heavy South American accent, then sternly repeats himself and says, "Urine's clear." I just about lost it. I said something like "oh," then ran to the bag to check and said, "Yeah, it's clear." I had to leave the room because I couldn't contain myself. I was crying. When I finally put on my straight face and re-entered, the surgeon goes, "So what else do you do?" They had a good laugh. It was super embarrassing and hysterical, and it actually made him acknowledge me from then on. Too long didn't read. During surgery, thought the surgeon asked me about my skiing hobby, when he really asked if the urine was clear. Edit, I'm happily surprised so many of you appreciated my less than perfectly written story time. And I love the stories you've shared as well. Just to clarify, I was crying from laughter, not sad crying. It's something I probably learned from my dad. I really think he should post his stories on here. Also, the surgeon is from a South American country. His accent is so thick that if I'm walking by, I have to try really hard to figure out if he's speaking Spanish or English. That plus masks on top. Things can get funny, especially since he's such a serious character normally. Also, thank you so much for the awards. Heart. Also, started my first day yesterday orienting in a new unit. I'm sure I'll have more embarrassment to share. How long did you go on about the skiing? I have second-hand embarrassment, but good laugh smile. A solid minute and a half. During an important exam I couldn't remember the name of musculus psoas, and called it tenderloin instead. Technically correct, but both patient and surgeon were a bit shocked. No, I'm not a cannibal, I swear. My urine's clear too. I've been to most of the Colorado resorts, Park City, and even some of the East Coast mountains in Virginia and Pennsylvania. Thank you, crying face, smiley face. I have yet to try the East Coast. Finally today I fucked up that doesn't involve sex. This made me laugh. Urine comes out of the sex organ. Checkmate. This is hilarious. I, too, work in an operating theater. One day, I thought the anesthetist asked me to check the piss. Although I found this highly unusual for a consultant to speak, a very elegant Eastern European woman at that, I checked the urine bag. Turns out she said check the buys. I was mortified. What's piss?